Salutations, my name is Summer, and here's Sterling. This is Sterling Reads. Hopefully this setup works because Mayfair is up here and it's late. But I've been having an issue that I don't normally have, and I'm curious if you guys have this problem. So I am reading 3 different books with 3 different, like one is with a group, another one is with 2 people, and then the third one is with one other person. So all 3 things I'm absolutely loving. And the only bad thing about Buddy Reads is that you want to make sure you don't give any spoilers, and you want to try to stay in the same type of area that they are in the book. You know, you don't want to get too far ahead and then say something to spoil something, and you don't want to be spoiled for anything. So my little Prim's here too, and she's very snotty, sneezy. Anyway, and this is the first time in like 20 years that I have wanted to read one book at a time. When I was a kid and teenager, I used to read one book and I'd finish it and I'd move on to the next one. And I'd be thinking of head like, ooh, I wonder if I want to read this or I want to read that. But honestly, I would be so into that book that if it was a series, I may be thinking about what I'm reading next. But I was just so into the book that that's really all I thought about. And the past 20 years, I've been reading so many different things at one time, or I've been like listening to something, which I'm not listening to anything right now. But I've been all over the place. And right now I'm reading 2 physical books and an ebook. I usually like having an audiobook because I like listening to something when I work on my blankets or crafting or my quilt squares. But I watch YouTube videos and listen to YouTube videos while I do that. So I haven't been listening to any audiobooks lately. But I think I'm going to be changing things so that I can read one book at a time again. And like I said, the 3 books I'm reading, I'll tell you, I'm reading the first, Zola. I will not be able to pronounce it, but it's the first book out of like 20 on my Kindle, and I have the complete series. I'm only on I'm getting ready to start chapter 3, and it told me when I finished chapter 2 last night, it said chapter 3 was going to be like 2 hours and something, because I'm a slow reader. But I'm wanting to read, this is what I'm going to read before I go to bed tonight, which will be soon. I'm reading this with Arianne and Shawn Standfast. I hope I pronounced your name right. Anyway, yeah, so we're reading this like a chapter a day is what we're rounding off to. I'm also reading My Family and Other Animals, which is the first book. This is a trilogy, but it's the first book in the trilogy, and I just started reading this, and it's by Gerald Durrell with Mark over at Book Time with Elvis, and I haven't really talked to him about it. I just finished chapter 4 last night. I have not read any of this today. And then I'm reading The Engines of God by Jack McDevitt, and I'm on like chapter, I just started chapter 11. Okay, so here's the thing. This book is fantastic. I'm loving every single book that I'm reading. But this one is like, oh my gosh, it's intriguing. There's so many, little one, please don't knock it over. There's so much going on in this book, and it's so interesting, and right now something dangerous is happening, and I'm like, oh, is everybody going to be okay and safe? And so, yeah, this is the book that I would think that I would just try to finish, like get it read, find out what's going on. But little one, that's my Prim. It's like, get it out, sweet pea. But anyway, this book, the group isn't, there might be a couple of them that are into it, but there's a lot of people, I feel like, and it's a large group, I feel like there's a lot of people who are waiting to read this. So I don't want to I already feel like I'm too ahead. I am wanting to read one book at a time. I think I'm going to, I don't know. I know tonight I'm reading Zola. And then I don't know if I need to talk to Mark and see how he's reading this. Because, like I said, when you're in a buddy read, you want to be close to where the other person is. Yeah, I don't know. I'm struggling. With figuring out. And I don't know why, because the honest truth is I just want to read one book, finish it, then read another book, finish it, and read another book and finish it. And not be dipping in and out, because right now it feels like I get immersed a little bit in it, and then I stop. And then I get immersed in the other book, and then I stop. And I just want to stay in one place right now. So I think I'm going to wait and set this aside for the moment, since it seems like not very many people are getting to this yet. Because I guess there's going to be a live the 1st of April. So I think people are waiting to read this more later on. And I have Post-its on pages to remind me of things I want to talk about. So good though, guys. So good. I'll talk to Mark about this to see where he is. Because like I said, I'm only on chapter 4. And I think there's 300 pages in the first book of this. But tonight, I'm going to just read my chapter. Well, I don't even know if I'll finish it, because I might fall asleep before I'm 2 hours, and however long it takes me to read, which is, it's funny how slow of a reader I am. But, you know, I like to be there. And people were talking about how different of readers we all are. I do hear my own voice when I read, and I visualize what's going on. So if you guys read differently, please let me know, because I'm so curious about it. Also, let me know about your reading. Do you guys read a bunch of different things at one time? Do you like to read one thing and just focus on that one thing? Because that's really what I'm wanting right now, which is strange for me, because I used to be all over the place. But I've noticed that in the past, maybe 2 years, and maybe it's because of my job and everything also, but I would read things and then I would forget. And I don't like that. It's like if I read it, I want it locked in, like it would be in the past. I like to be able to talk to people about books and be like, oh yes, and talk about it. Not be like, oh yeah, I read that, but I don't remember it. Well, what was the point of me reading it if I don't remember it? So, I mean, me personally, I mean, everybody has the way that they are. Anyway, another thing real quick. I finished Sister Souljah's book, The Coldest Winter Ever, and I'm really looking forward to getting into the second one, which I do own up there, but I'm waiting because I don't want to be reading a bunch of things at once, and I want to get these group buddy reads done before I go into something else. So yeah, but this book is about a girl named Winter, and talking about like how she was raised. Her father was like a big drug lord into crime and all that, and so she was raised best clothes, most expensive things. You know, she was very shallow, beautiful girl, but she was all about this life, a life of crime. Anyway, oh my gosh, like so much happens. I don't know how much to tell you, but there was this one part, and I got a little prim up here. Nope, that's not it. But I just wanted to like show you like what type of writing is in here, because you might have like a certain idea, and there is a lot of like violence and crime, but I don't know how it does. I don't know. Anyway, so this is Sister Souljah writing to a guy. This is one of the letters. If I came off cool when you called, my voice hid my real feelings. Inside, I felt everything shift. On a usual day, I am so unimpressed with everything and everybody. It seems every word shared between a man and a woman has already been said, and nothing could be done that I didn't already see. and nobody means what they say anyway, so it didn't really matter. Yet as we talked, I felt my breathing intensify, a sign that I'm still alive and capable of feeling. Man, I love that. Absolutely loved it. Anyway, so this was excellent. I understand it is not for everybody. It took me a minute to get into it, but once I got into it, I ended up loving it. So I don't know. It's up to you whether you want to try it or not. But I'm looking forward to the second book, and I really enjoyed it. I hate giving like recommendations a lot of times because I've had a lot of people be like, a book that I loved, they're like, oh, I hated that book, or I can't believe you'd recommend it. And it's like, I can't help it. I like what I like. So anyway, let me know how you guys read books. Do you hear your own voice? Do you visualize everything? Yeah, I don't know how you would do it differently. Also, do you like to read one book at a time, or do you like to read several books at once? I'm very curious, and I think mine's going to be changing, where I actually, this next month coming up, I think that I'm going to be reading one book at a time, and I also think I'm going to be finishing a series, or like continuing on series, which I usually wait and then I want to reread and everything. So, all right, she's going to try to knock all this over. Let me know. Thank you so much, guys. I hope you're all doing well. Bye.